Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music, and this is New Music's Alive in 2025. I'm going to talk about 6 new albums that came out over the past week and give my quick first impressions of them. Hopefully, I turn you on to some new music that you haven't heard before. And I'll talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Deftones and their album Private Music. This is the 10th album by Deftones. They're an American band, and it's kind of alternative metal. They have some shoegaze, some post-rock, some dream pop influences in there. Sometimes even almost progressive metal. But yeah, I say alternative metal pretty accurately describes them. And I love all of their albums. They never miss for me, so I was excited to hear this. And they hit it out of the park again. I'm going to put this one in my near masterpiece tier. Another one, a lot of their albums are up there. I don't know if they have any that I would call true masterpiece tier level, but near masterpieces are pretty common for them. A lot of their albums are very similar in sound. And this one is pretty similar in sound to a lot of their other albums, but to me, that's not a bad thing because I really do love all of their other albums. And I'll be seeing Deftones live with System of a Down and Polyphia soon. So I'm looking forward to that. Really excited to see them. So definitely check this out. If you're a fan of Deftones, I'm pretty sure you're going to love this. And if you haven't heard Deftones, I really think you should if you like any kind of alternative metal. They're probably one of the best bands in that scene. Like System of a Down and Deftones are really, for me, the best in the alternative metal scene. So check them out. Next up is one that I honestly contemplated putting above Deftones. Maybe I will put it above it if I listen to it a bit more. And it's one by Jack the Joker, and it's called The Devil to Pay in the Backlands. And this is the third album by this Brazilian progressive metal band. And this one I'm also putting in my near masterpiece tier. The vocals here from Jack the Joker sound like a mix of Toe Hider, Leprous, Good Tiger, and No Spoon. Kind of high pitched and very well done with a lot of character. It's almost all clean vocals, but there are some screams. The guitar parts are sometimes genty and bouncy, but other times they can do lots of these shredding leads and solos. The album ends with a 13-minute prog epic called Hope. And after listening to this, I immediately went back and listened to the previous album that they put out before this, which is also equally amazing and ends with a 24-minute epic. So I had never heard anything from Jack the Joker before, but just checked this out. And yeah, I was blown away. I think this is a new band for me to add to my favorite bands list and binge everything they've ever put out. So really excited about that discovery. The Devil to Pay in the Backlands by Jack the Joker. And yeah, I feel like these two albums, even this week has been the best week of August for sure for new stuff. I feel like even the top 3 that I'm mentioning in today's video are probably my favorite 3 of the month so far, if off the top of my head. So yeah, really strong week. Deftones, Jack the Joker, and then this next one, which is by The World is a Beautiful Place and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die, and their album Dreams of Being Dust. This one is the 5th album by this American band, and I guess the genre here would be post-hardcore, kind of emo, but also a lot of post-rock, indie rock, alternative rock, punk, progressive rock, and even some post-metal influences. This one I'll put in my excellent tier. I was almost thinking about near masterpiece as well, but I'm going to keep it excellent for now. Maybe I'll check out more of their stuff too. This is the first full album I've heard from The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die. Very long band name. Maybe I'll just call them, I don't know, to abbreviate it, TW. Abbreviating it is even difficult. call it Beautiful Place or No Longer Afraid. I don't know. The World is Beautiful. I'll call them that. Um, so yeah, World is Beautiful. This is their fifth album, and yeah, never listened to a full album by them before this, but I'd heard good things about them. I enjoyed the single from this album ahead of time, Se Sufre Pero Se Goza. If I said that correctly, a Spanish title. So I plan to check this out after hearing that single, and the whole album is just really awesome. Hard to decide. It was pretty hard to decide how to rate it after first listen. After a few listens now, I'm feeling excellent here, but I feel like this is one that takes many listens to fully wrap your head around. I thought they were more of a post rock band when from what I've heard about them in the past, but this one definitely leans more to post hardcore emo. So, like, I was kind of expecting when I just checked out the first track, like, it was going to be more like atmospheric and relaxing and peaceful and serene and ambient. But yeah, it had a lot more post hardcore emo and punk. There is still some of that post rock, indie, alternative, prog, and even some metal in there. But yeah, I was surprised by how many sweet riffs and awesome guitar parts there were on this album from World is a Beautiful Place. And just the variety in the vocals from harsh to clean, both male and female vocals. Really interesting to listen to. And now I want to go back and hear more from them. So if that sounds good to you, check out Dreams of Being Dust by The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die. Next up, I have an EP by a great metalcore band called The Devil Wears Prada, and the EP is called Where the Flowers Never Grow. This is an American metalcore band, Devil Wears Prada. They're kind of melodic metalcore. They have some post-hardcore, emo, alternative metal influences in there too. This one I'm going to put in my very good tier. Probably if there was a whole full album of this, it might have made excellent tier, but it's pretty short. It's only 13 minutes, I think. And for Devil Wears Prada, I really think their first four albums that they put out as a band are really excellent, but I haven't been as into them since then. Possibly just my tastes have changed and evolved, and they've pretty much stayed fairly consistent. They've experimented a little bit. They're always good. They've stayed in this good to very good range for me, except for their one album, The Act from 2019, which I just didn't like at all, as it brought in some more indie rock, hard rock, alternative metal, post-hardcore, industrial rock, and electronica into their main melodic metalcore sound. So that kind of mix on their 2019 album just didn't work for me. As much as I appreciated them trying to bring in some other styles, it felt forced. It felt like an attempt to be radio friendly and popular to me, which I didn't like. And I was hoping Devil Wears Prada would get back to their glory days with this new EP. Or if they tried something completely new, hopefully it would be something that I feel is genuine and interesting and innovative rather than attempts to remain relevant. This EP is very good, much better than The Act for me, but still not at the heights of their first four albums. It's not quite there. Not even quite as good as the two Zombie EPs or their Space EP, but it's kind of in that ballpark. If you like their other EPs, you'll probably like this. It's not as heavy as those other EPs. Zombie EPs might be some of their heaviest stuff they've ever done. So this is a bit more accessible, but it still has some good heaviness, really catchy emotional choruses, good chugging riffs, some headbanging moments. They've got a full-length album coming in November, and the four songs that are on this EP are actually going to be on that album. So it's almost like this release shouldn't even count. I don't really like when bands do that. They just kind of put these EPs out, and then like a few months later, they put out an album that contains that EP and more. I actually Maybe they found that it makes more people listen to more of the songs, but I would prefer if they just put the songs out with the full album. The way I like to listen to music, I like to consume albums from start to finish. So yeah, I don't really like bands doing that. That's a bit of a tangent, but the music is still good, despite me not appreciating the format as much. Like a very short kind of, I think it was 13 minutes EP, which should have just been rolled into the full album. I'm betting the full album, maybe if I hear these in context with everything else, maybe it can actually rise up to the heights of their former glory. Maybe they'll reach my excellent tier. But for now, this EP, very good. If you like melodic metalcore, you should check this out because it's really a well executed version of that, pretty accessible, but still heavy. Next up, I have Bioscope with their album Gento. This is the debut album by this super group featuring one artist from the UK and one from Germany. This is instrumental progressive rock with electronic, ambient, and post rock influences. And I'm going to put this one in my good tier as well. So Bioscope is a collaboration between Steve Rothery, the guitarist of Marillion, and Tangerine Dream's Thorsten Kieschning. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. And this is their debut album together. I was not sure what to expect here, but Marillion is a solid band. And though I've never gotten into Tangerine Dream, I've heard good things about them as well. The whole album here consists of beautiful instrumental atmospheric music with great guitar and keyboard sounds and electronic beats. Not really my style of music. I usually prefer music with vocals. I usually prefer music with real drums and something that has a bit more kind of riffiness to it. But it is one of the better executions of this instrumental ambient electronic atmospheric kind of progressive post rock sounds I've heard. If you're a fan of Endless River by Pink Floyd, it kind of reminds me of that album. One downside is this album by Bioscope does feel a little long at just over 58 minutes with no vocals, and it all kind of sounds pretty much the same. So I could definitely see this one being something that will bore some people. Some people will definitely find this one boring. I would love to hear what this would have sounded like if they had tried to find like 10 to 15 minutes to cut from here and only the best moments remained. Maybe also if they got some got a good drummer to collaborate with them and good vocalist, I think they could make an excellent band. The talent and the soundscapes that these guys lay down are just beautiful, but it does feel more like background, kind of chilling stuff. If you like that kind of stuff, though, this is top notch. So check out Gento by Bioscope. And last one that I want to talk about today is by 3 Days Grace, and it's called Alienation. And this is the 8th album by this Canadian band. Going to represent the fellow Canadians. And this is hard rock, I guess, with alternative rock, post grunge, alternative metal, and pop influences. I'll put this in my good tier as well. I enjoyed the debut album by 3 Days Grace when it came out. I was like 12 years old at that point, but my interests move away from this hard rock, alternative rock, and post grunge sound. I moved more into metal and progressive music shortly after that. So I stopped following 3 Days Grace closely. While I know and enjoy some of their radio hits, they're not really my style. I think they make some decent songs, and they're Canadian, so I wanted to check this out to support fellow Canadians and just for some nostalgia. And overall, I do like this album better than their last one. Their last one was Explosions, I think, from 2022. That one was very average sounding to me. This new album is still really not my thing, though. It's a little bit too much of a radio rock sound for me. It's almost kind of like a bordering on butt rock, like Nickelback or something like that. There's some very good songs, though. Some of them are very good, and then there's some that are really kind of average and not so good. On the slow side, I liked the song Kill Me Fast, which could definitely be a radio hit if it isn't already. Maybe it already is. I'm not sure because I don't listen to much radio. On the fast side, I liked the song The Power, but for every very good track on here, there's also a not so great track. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Their vocal abilities are great, as always, and they can write catchy melodies. It's just sometimes the songs are a little cringeworthy, kind of lame sounding, or just generic, and other times they're complete bangers and really well written and catchy and stuck in your head and just iconic sounding. The lead vocals here remind me of the clean vocals in Atreyu. They have a similar sound. So definitely check this out if you like this more mainstream radio rock that's influenced by post-grunge and alternative metal. If you like that, then Alienation by 3 Days Grace could be for you. And that's it for my first impressions of these 6 albums that came out over the past week. What do you think of these albums? Let me know down in the comments if you've heard them. Or did I inspire you to check any of these out that you hadn't heard before? Also, let me know if you do check one out and you like it. I always like to know that my recommendations have reached somebody and have helped them find something that they enjoy. And if you like metal, rock, and prog, you're in the right place. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I talk about new music as it comes out roughly once a week. I will post my first impressions on new stuff. And my next one will probably be there's some cool new stuff coming out August 29th that I'm looking forward to talking about in about a week's time. Stuff from Asymmetric Universe, Elo, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but they sound like they're from their singles. They're sounding really good. Halloween and Trudger and Sowulo. So we're looking forward to chatting about those 5 releases in about a week's time. If you want to hear what I think about those, also hit that subscribe button so you stay in the loop on when I post new videos. And peace out.